It wasn't awful falafel. This was pretty good.
On this episode of A Dash of Cumin, we're making falafel, a popular and versatile dish throughout the Mediterranean. We're testing the difference between leavening agents, baking soda, and baking powder to see which ingredient makes falafel the lightest and fluffiest that it's so famous for. Welcome to our kitchen.
Hi friends! Welcome back to A Dash of Cumin, where we look at simple recipes with a little bit of chemistry. I'm here with my co-host and husband, Matthew Antonajak.
Hey guys.
And today we are so excited to talk about falafel. So we were researching the history of falafel, and origins is actually Coptic, which were the original indigenous people in Egypt. And so this is a main staple in Egyptian homes throughout most of Lent, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just about eating vegan foods, it's also about filling your spirit as well with the Word of God.
Rending your heart, not your garments.
Oh, okay. So,
Okay.
what was that?
I was rending my garments. I should have
Okay.
been rending my heart.
The ingredients.
All right. So in front of us, you can see we have some herbs, we have spices, and we have the main showstopper here, which is the fava beans.
Yes. The Palestinian style is chickpeas.
Lebanon.
And I think even they use maybe fava beans and chickpeas
Yeah, there's a
sometimes,
combination too,
also
yeah.
in Greece as well. These are split fava beans. So then the first step is to rehydrate your fava beans by soaking them in water. The process usually takes 2 days. So that's why I say when you want to have your falafel, then
For a
you
weekend.
Can, yeah,
Do it on the
just
weekend.
kind of like work backwards.
Yeah. We got our fava beans, but with our vegetable blend, we're going to be making a bit of a, not a compote, but kind of a mixture of onions, parsley, flat leaf parsley, and our cilantro. Now with our spice blend, coriander, a little bit of allspice. The biggest and most important is the dash of cumin. We also have paprika. We have our kosher salt, about a teaspoon of black pepper, finely to medium ground. And we also have to include some garlic, so we got 7 cloves here. We're personally going to be using avocado oil. You can also use canola oil.
So why don't you tell us what the baking soda and baking powder are about?
So here's where the science of dash of cumin comes in. Christine, why do we have baking powder versus baking soda?
So this is going to be the experiment for today. So we got my mom recipe, Mama Rita, and of course it just says baking soda or baking powder or both.
What do you use?
And there were no measurements for any of the spices that Matthew so eloquently went through. So what we're going to do today is do an experiment to see how the falafel turns out with one or the other. And basically the purpose of these basic ingredients, when I mean basic, I mean like alkaline ingredients, is that they interact with the acidity of the garlic and they cause a reaction, and that releases gas, and so it makes your falafel quite fluffy.
That would be the baking soda's properties.
Right,
Okay.
right. But
Now,
we'll see. But this has sodium bicarbonate as well.
Oh, okay.
Baking soda is just purely sodium bicarbonate, but this is sodium sulfate and sodium bicarbonate mixed together.
So a little bit of mix, okay.
It's a little bit of a different property.
Cool.
Our food processor. So we'll start.
We want to start with our vegetable
Processing.
mixture first.
No. We start with these first.
Do you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
This is my recipe.
All right. This is your cooking show.
All right. So yeah, let's just get into it. Here we go. So this is what it looks like when you have 2 pounds ground up. And then we picked all the leaves from the parsley and cilantro. And then we just did a rough chop of the 2 onions. And we will now pulse the onions separately and remove the extra water through a sieve. So here we go. So I've just set up a sieve with another bowl.
Using a fine mesh sieve and a rubber scraper, you'll want to press out as much onion water as possible. You don't want the falafel batter to splatter in the hot oil, and you want the falafel balls to keep their shape once formed. Shoot for a consistency close to wet sand for best results.
Okay, we're back.
Wow,
So,
you've been chopping some onions.
all right, so we did indeed get about 8 ounces. I was quite
Wow.
surprised. This is the onion water.
Out of 2 large onions.
Our spice mix. Oh, that smells really good.
It
And
does.
then we took about maybe 10 minutes to pull all of the leaves. Definitely don't want the stems, so we'll just
Take the time to do this step, folks.
and
Pulse it up.
that smells really good.
It does.
Yeah. So as I say with all of my recipes, you have to make sure that the ingredients are well incorporated.
Do.
We Maladi women live on the edge, so
Literally.
you should see my mom when she cuts an onion. She just uses her hands. It is
It's a sight to behold.
quite. I want to do it one more time.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you don't have a blade in there.
Sometimes we have these moments that he likes to call chicken of the sea.
Chicken of the sea.
If-
Why is it called chicken of the sea? It's tuna.
That's perfect.
That's better.
Yeah. See,
Okay.
it was worth it,
It
right?
was worth it. Hashtag worth it.
Nobody does hashtag anymore, honey.
Oh, I guess it's so 2006 or something.
We'll have to divide this into thirds because the food processor bowl is not going to accommodate all of the onion and the
Fava beans.
fava beans and the spice mixture. So you kind of just eyeball it.
Still a little more water in there.
Yeah.
Hey guys, pro tip here. Before you pulse your fava bean mixture, you're going to want to make sure that the chlorophyll part, all of your herbs and your seasoning, and the onions that you squeeze all the water out of are kind of more or less mixed in together. So when you put it into the blender, it kind of homogenizes the whole mixture.
It made about 2,400 grams or about
2.4 kilograms, because base 10 mathematics is amazing for measuring systems,
He really loves the metric system.
but not Celsius.
So we are actually going to freeze half of that. And now we have divided the remaining equally, and we will do 1 teaspoon of baking soda and then 1 teaspoon of baking powder, which contains sodium bicarbonate, cornstarch, sodium aluminum sulfate, and one more, monocalcium phosphate. Whereas the baking soda only has sodium bicarbonate. And so now we're getting ready to fry.
To make even falafel balls, we used a small dough scooper. It's important to keep your falafel uniform in size so the cooking time remains consistent for each small batch you fry. Falafel does better with deep frying than a shallow fry. That's why we use a saucepan with a high rim and put only enough oil in to displace up around 3/4 of the falafel balls. Keep the oil between 350 and 375 and flip the falafel after 2 minutes on each side. Take them out promptly after a total of 4 minutes and drain on a paper towel-lined cooling rack.
So we finished frying. It took a while. Why don't we taste it for you on the camera?
This is exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start with the baking
Yeah.
soda first.
It's a good crunch.
That's a very good crunch.
You can see
Hmm.
that
Oh,
it
too.
cooked all the way through.
What do you think of the texture? Is it fluffy?
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not as fluffy as I was kind of hoping they would be. All right, so that's pure baking soda. Let's try the baking powder.
Okay.
I notice these are a little bit more
These are
rounder,
like puffier.
puffier already. You can see something
Yeah.
going on
I mean,
here.
it's very minimal. It's a very minimal difference, but it's a little bit puffier.
All right. Oh, wow. Right off the bat. It's almost a little bit more spongier,
Mm-hmm.
softer,
Mm-hmm.
has a better mouthfeel to it.
I think we have the winner.
Ooh, I think this is going to win. It wasn't awful falafel. This was pretty good. Don't die.
All right, that's all we got for today.
Yeah.
Sofra Dema.
So for the demo.
Free Palestine.